What is up, everyone? Do not adjust your sets. We are, gentlemen, we are live on Twitch. What's going on, boys?
Yay, Twitch.
Look at this. I'm looking at our Twitch page, and we look kind of good, boys.
Looks all right.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah. So
That's the Pokemon effect. That's what
Right.
you get.
yeah, the Pokemon effect. So what's up, everybody?
Everything is up.
Oh,
I guess.
shoot. You know what?
No.
Let's I'm gonna just delete that because that's not Frankie. That's Anchorman.
Hi, Frankie.
Oh my goodness! I don't know where Frankie is. We were trying to get
Filling
hold of him. I know.
Can I cosplay? Can I cosplay as Frankie?
I don't know. Do you like Star Wars?
There's no video, so you could have just said like, "Hey, this is Frankie."
Yeah, I'm Frankie. I hate Star Trek.
I don't like a lot of things. I hate sports.
I hate esports. Right.
I hate Smurfs.
Right.
So this is Twitch, huh? It doesn't look much different.
No.
I don't feel a lot different.
No, it doesn't feel a lot different. But you know what? I am.
Seems clear though.
It does.
Feels
I'll
dirty.
tell you what. The quality on this page looks incredibly clear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Maybe-
make it full screen on my laptop just to see what. I mean, it really does. It looks fantastic. And we're not. This is a lower bit rate than I usually use for YouTube.
Okay.
So and it looks like XSplit is handling it well. The FPS is hanging at 30, which is what we want, which is what we're going to need for Juan's Retro Rec later. So those of you who are catching us on Twitch, we want to welcome you to the NLG Podcast, the original NLG Podcast. We'll give you a little bit of an insight as to who we are, and then of course our special guest tonight. He's down in the middle square, as we like to call it.
Middle square.
The middle square, Hollywood middle square. So anyway, we have been.
Oh my gosh. He's
what?
back
What?
in the chat room.
Who? I missed it.
Mike Wallace is a hack.
Oh,
Nice.
Here we go. Oh, goodness gracious. I'll tell you what. They,
Anchorman's a fanboy now, too.
all right. Good job, Anchor.
At least he's lolling.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, so we came over from YouTube and, started off with, checking out what was going on with YouTube and their new craziness with Witty. Oh, wouldn't that be funny? It's either him or it's I wonder if it's certified.
Right.
So
Point of crap Peter has to offer. So who knows?
yeah, who knows?
Not that many people.
All right, let's get him the hell out of here. Goodbye. Oh God.
You're official now.
That took
Okay?
no
You're
time at
official.
all.
That's how you knew you made it.
So, you know what it is? It's because I wouldn't talk to him in chat earlier today. That's what it was.
Could be.
So
Need attention.
anyway, I like the new mod stuff too. So he's out. Anyway, so we we've been on YouTube for the last few years, and they changed the monetization rules over at YouTube, and that was our first driving factor towards maybe looking at an alternative place to bring our gaming podcast. Because we're not huge like many other sites, but we would like to at some point make enough money to do streams and stuff like that. Better streams, things of that nature. Well, they changed the rules to make it very hard for the little guys to succeed. And with that, we were looking at alternatives. So Twitch seemed to be a great alternative. And look, this is a gaming centric place, and we are a gaming centric podcast and a gaming centric channel. And this could probably be a great place for our for our podcast to land and pick up a new audience. You're gonna get
Not that we don't love our audience, by the way.
We do love our audience, and they're already in here with us.
No, I hate them.
Our good friends from the WFC podcast. So BLVR is also known as Super Cooper. We have Adam Bomb Baby 420, who's also known as Witty Mass. It's
Oh my God, he's back.
That's trying really hard.
Yeah, this is trying way too hard. So that's all right. When you're when you have no, I guess, life, this is what you do. You go around and you do that. So that's all right. We'll be quick on the band hammer. So anyway,
I don't have one.
that's all right. I've got it. So anyway,
HGK was though.
oh, you know what? I gotta give you guys. You have to figure out how to make you guys mods.
Apparently, I'm a mod, but I can't do anything.
We have some learning to do, of course. So anyway, so hopefully, along with our good friends we have here, we'll pick up some new friends and we'll go from there. So I want everybody to introduce themselves. Peter, we'll start with you. Kind of give everybody the scoop on who you are.
All right. Well, it's me, Peter. Also going by HDK or HDK 360 if you see me around on the PlayStation or on the Switch name, as well as Twitter. Been gaming since forever. I think the first game I ever touched was on Apple II. My uncle had an Apple II. I think it was an Apple II. It might have been a hybrid between 1 and 2. He's pretty electronic savvy, so it was always like making stuff and doing crazy stuff. But that's the first kind of game that I touched, and from there I fell in love ever since. So gone through PC, Commodore 64. I had a handheld LCD from like Nintendo and some other non-name brands, Casio, and from there I had a Atari Mega ST. Did some MIDI on it, as well as gaming. Some more PC. Got an original Xbox way back when the first time when I saw like what was it, Project Gotham Racing. I always loved racing, and
Nice.
I saw how good it looked, and no driver upgrades and video card that was not good enough. So it's like, yeah, that's for me. So from there, Xbox 360. Then really wanted a PS3. I saw Heavy Rain. That was like such a cool game. So I convinced my wife, saying like, we need a PlayStation 3 because it has Wi-Fi and we can do Netflix in the bedroom. So that's how I got that approved. And then from there, now Xbox One, Xbox One X, got a PlayStation 4 with PSVR. Got a Switch, and recently, or in the last week, I joined the PC Master Race. So.
I went to slow mode.
So my backlog went from large to huge.
Yeah, right. Just don't get into following some of the furry type dudes that are PC guys. You'll be fine.
I'm fine no matter what. So
What does it mean the room is in slow mode?
Oh, just the.
It says you can only send messages every 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's on purpose.
Yeah, I'm working on it. So I have a little bit of work to do. Here we go. I know what we'll do.
Just a little bit of work.
Nope. We're gonna set a chat delay. Sorry guys, we're gonna take this off of slow mode. See, this is unfortunately what happens when children are allowed to play after bedtime. So, hey, please, 44 years old. If a child thinks that he can bother me with this, it is he is sorely mistaken. So, anywho, that's awesome, Peter. And we're gonna go to Nathan. Nathan, let everybody know what's going on with you and introduce yourself.
I'm Nate. I don't know what Twitch is, but it's pretty cool.
You'll
I guess.
find out soon
It's
enough.
what you do after an epileptic seizure.
Oh, that too. But I thought we were, mixing it a little bit. But I heard that's their Twitch love child, I guess. So this is pretty cool. I do look, but I don't like how they can see me better. I kind of want to hide. I don't like this HD era.
The HD era.
Now I have to add some makeup and stuff.
Oh, see, exactly, man. Oh, crap.
Just
I
ask
missed the
Kiss.
hair. Dang it. No, yeah, I have an Xbox.
I mean,
I don't have a
could
PlayStation.
always you could always put your light source like in the back left-hand corner, and have it behind you with no other light source, so you have a really deep shadow in the background, so no one can see you. You could always do that. Always worked for me.
Oh, Coop, you can see it anytime you want. You know that. Yeah, and I have an Xbox. It's the same name as this, but I don't have a PlayStation or a Switch, so I can't announce any of that cool stuff.
He doesn't have red hair, and he doesn't have any gals either. It's all false advertising.
Yeah, it's the Reds and the Bengals. So
I get it.
You briefly had a PlayStation.
yeah, I briefly had a
briefly.
Briefly, and then you made so much money that
I made an offer, could not refuse.
Oh, I get a wink from Coop too. Oh, I'm gonna have to go, guys. It's too much.
That's too suggestive. You should kick Coop out.
These are some crazy emojis, man. I'm looking across the emoji list in chat.
You can have your own custom ones. I've already made quite a few.
Nice.
This is nutty.
This is. So, Juan, what's up, man?
Hello.
How are you?
Everything's everything.
Yeah. So give us a little background on the Gallardo, man.
Yeah, so CrazyJuan is handle goes back way back to some tabletop gaming, and then when online gaming became a thing, I just took my tabletop moniker and kind of brought it in. Been video gaming since the middle '80s, so I'm an old man of gaming. First game was Galaga, 1984. I know Galaga came out in '81, but I was not very old then. So standing on a milk crate to play, I would get a quarter from Dad every day, and play that. And eventually, kids would stand to watch me play. Kids would gather around, watch this little kid play Galaga, and then I just got that was it. I was hooked. That's video games for life. So I played on a whole bunch of retro stuff coming up. PC Master Race for a time. I got away from that a little bit more recently. Kind of focused on Xbox. I have a Switch. Love that too, but primarily game on my Xbox. And one of my favorite things to do for the show here is a weekly retro recommendation, where I play one of my favorite retro games, whether they be a classic or a kind of a forgotten or unsung gem, and I do it on original hardware. And record it and run through some of the little details of its history, its reception, its production, anything I can find on it really, and so I hope I've gotten some halfway decent response with that, and really enjoy doing that. So we'll be doing that again going forward into this new year. What was it? What I do last? I did Contra 3 Alien Wars on the SNES, and we got a great Genesis title lined up for this week, so looking forward to that. Generally, I'm really opinionated. You can find CrazyJuan on Twitter. I'm CrazyJuan77 or at CrazyJuan77.
That's what we're calling it now. Opinionated.
Yeah, that's what we're calling it.
yeah.
I'm opinionated, and I'm not shy, and I'm also not apologetic for being someone who likes an Xbox, and that's one of the worst things you can be on Twitter. So. And also I hold gaming media to a standard, not necessarily an ethics and journalism thing, because I'm not part of that crowd, but I do like them to try to get things right. So I'll mention that kind of stuff sometimes too, but yeah, I'm here for the gaming, and I like that our show isn't about other people. That's one thing that new viewers, hopefully, that come to us here on Twitch will appreciate, is that what we talk about is games and gaming and not other gamers. Nice.
Yep. And I can't. And it's gonna be nice to show people your retro rec, because and we put some of them up. So we started moving some of our YouTube videos over, and put up all of the recaps except for one. I downloaded the Jurassic Park, and I'll get that up as well. And so little background on me. I Spent about 9 to 10 years as a game journalist. I started out on a website. I was selling pianos and got so bored that I would bring my Sega Saturn to work, and then got into the Dreamcast. And somebody on an IRC chat got a hold of me and said, "Hey, I'm running this Dreamcast website, and I need an editor. Do you want to write stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm bored all day. I could do this." And so started doing editing for a Dreamcast website. And then when the Dreamcast, hold on.
Yeah. When the Dreamcast
died, I
Apparently, he lost his dreams.
yeah. And it's still on the wall though. Still back there on the wall. And we stream. I streamed some on Saturday. Anyway, so
I watched that Ready to Rumble.
it's such a fun game. So when it died, I decided that instead of just giving up what I was doing, I would create a site and try to become a multi-platform site. I still had time on my hands and things like that. I was still single and had plenty of free time. So I created Next Level Gaming, and it was a website that lasted from about 2001, I think, is when we got started, to let's see, I retired in 2007 after my youngest, now oldest actually, son turned 2 and really needed his dad's attention, and I just didn't have the time to write and do the things anymore. But I come with a long line of gaming that goes back to the Atari 2600 and beyond, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And it's great to be here. It's we're looking forward to gaining some new people and hopefully a new to grow our audience, and I got to tell you, I'm just so glad to see our chat guys that came from YouTube, and they're on tonight. I mean, his chat room's hopping already.
Contino just hopped in.
Yeah, he did. I need to see if I can strip out the coloring from here, because his Twitch color and Jeff's Twitch color are blue enough that they're kicking on the background. Let me see what happens if I do that. And maybe that. Look at this. This is real time, folks. Real time.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Can't get any more real.
So, and I want to introduce our special guest for tonight. He is now unfortunately, I think your image is awesome, but it's too compressed. So, Anchorman, why don't you give everyone the quick and dirty?
Oh, yeah, I'm Anchorman. Call me Ivan. I don't really care. I've gone by many names over the years. I used to be Zombie Kiwi 23. I used to be CTG Romulus, and Anchor's the most recent one, and I've had that one for a little while now. So I'll take whatever name we can give me. So, I guess general things for me. I grew up actually not being able to play video games for a long time. I grew up in a fundamentalist Christian home, and my parents thought video games were the work of the devil. And for till about I was 11 or 12, I think. Then they kind of let up on it. So for me, like, if I wanted to play video games, I had to be very sneaky. Very sneaky.
Sneaky.
So, so what would end up happening a lot of the time is I would, if I wanted to do, we used to do like skate night in elementary school, and I can't skate. I was always really tall as a kid, and so my center of gravity was really screwed. So I could not skate, but the thing they did have was Galaga in Street Fighter, but I was good at Galaga, so I would play that instead. I'd take the money I was supposed to have for skates and spend it on Galaga. If I wanted to play PlayStation, I go have a quote-unquote sleepover with a buddy across the street, If I wanted to play Sega Genesis, I go hang out with my buddy Mike next door. If I wanted to play N64, hop the fence in the backyard and go play over there. So we go back and forth a lot. So and that's how I got to play a lot of these cool games. And so I developed a lot of things I really loved and fell in love with, like Smash Bros. So like the first thing for me was like I think it was Pokemon was like the first game where it was like unequivocally my parents couldn't ignore it because Pokemon was so big when I was growing up. I'm only 24, so I'm the young one here.
I remember those days.
Pokemon was so big, like they could not ignore it, and they let up on the rule. And so I started on handhelds, and ever since then, I kind of started getting like a little bit after a little bit, and I had to compromise and make things work. Like get a PlayStation, then buy a GameCube, and eventually get the Wii, and I got a 360 when I turned 18 and went to college. And after that, I got into the whole Call of Duty clan thing, and found myself on YouTube at one point. So yeah, I ended up on YouTube, and so eventually I got picked up. Well, I ran into these guys called the Inner Circle back in 2014. I remember because I was like the 4th episode that they did, and I remember totally blowing it off. I remember I showed up there, but the entire time I was playing Battlefield 4 and kind of only half paying attention. And I've always regretted that to that day. That I didn't give it more attention, because in the very next episode they got Phil Spencer on, and I was like, "Oh, maybe I should have paid more attention to this."
Right.
Yeah, but ever since then, I made friends with Cal and B Money and the rest of those guys, and in 2015, I got picked up as the replacement on Tick Podcast, and so I've been there for 2 years. I'm the longest person standing in that position, so I will take that with pride. And so
as you should.
And so now I'm kind of the director of programming for the Inner Circle Network, where we cover Xbox, PlayStation, and all the multi-plat stuff. So it's been an absolute blast, and I met Mike and the NLG crew about 2 years ago now, 2016. It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been over a year at this point. I know that much. It's got to be at least 2 years now.
Yeah, it's been a day. I mean, and you've been on here before, and we've had a great time with with you and with other. I think, who else we had on here? We actually haven't. I don't think we've had anybody else from.
Yeah, we need to get Mike on.
We do. We got to get Mike. We got to get Undead. We got to get Fame.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe I can. Maybe I can talk Cal into coming on too one night.
So,
that'd be cool.
All right. He loves to talk.
Well, he's given up his the pod shots. Why? I love those.
He'll be back.
I'm trying to downvote. Where do I downvote?
We can't do that.
Like with him, what he will do is he will come back, and he'll come back in full force, because something will happen where he can't ignore it, and he'll want to talk about it immediately before a podcast, and he will come back. I know how he works.
Well,
he'll be back.
And you guys know, you guys might. You guys know, other people don't. I'm gonna be helping you guys out a little on the website side, doing some just some advisory stuff, just to help you guys out as best I can. Because look, we love you guys. If you see me on Twitter, I always talk about the three letter podcast channels. The NLG, TIC. TSP, those channels.
Don't forget the 4-letter channel.
Huh?
Yeah, the one letter one.
Don't forget the 4-letter channel.
Wait a minute.
I know that. I know what he's talking about.
Well, I was.
Yeah.
Are we short pause?
No.
No. Hold on.
WFC.
Oh well, they're WFC. They're not.
Well, they got
They added the
Four
D.
guys
added
with
the D.
borders.
They bought the
For
consonant.
jazz.
They love the
RGM.
D.
RGM's another. ILP, of course.
Of course.
Man. No, I don't think they've officially. Oh, I guess. Okay, fine. WDFC. What's the D for?
UK Dazzler.
Yeah, that's
I know what
moderator of the
it.
year.
I know what it.
Well,
that.
the joke they have
F
is
cares.
who the F cares?
Who the F
Nice.
That is fantastic. All right. So, anyways, welcome, and we'll you're always welcome here. You know that, Anchor. Although we have to ask you every time.
have to ask.
We have to ask.
You know this now.
So, except when he says, "Oh, well, there's a certain place that could have us on." Yeah. So when you hint at it,
I wasn't saying anything. I was just saying I would be open if someone were to happen to ask me.
all right. I have a couple quick hit things, and then a couple bigger topics, and then we'll go on to Juan's Retro Rec. First, if you are the type of gamer that loves your PlayStation 4, but loves that Xbox controller, this hoary Xbox PS4-ish controller is for you. This was announced last week, I want to say, or maybe during our week. It was either last week or during our week off. This is the Hori, I believe it's the Onyx controller, I think. I have to look. Yeah, it's called the Onyx controller. It is licensed by Sony, so it is official. It is wireless. And as you can see, it pretty much looks like an Xbox One controller with the touchpad in the middle. Down to the asynchronous joysticks. Why do I keep saying that? The not asynchronous, the
Asymmetrical.
asymmetrical, thank you. Asymmetrical sticks, the button layout, and the triggers and everything, and the PlayStation button in the middle. So what do you guys think? This is a pretty nice looking pad, though. I might have to get one of these.
I like it. I want it real bad now.
Options
that.
are always good.
Hey, it doesn't have the little light bar in front of it, does it?
No, it does not. Actually, I'm looking at a picture of the top of it. It does not. Now,
So you cannot use them then with PSVR? Cause
Yeah, what Chief said.
right.
You can
now,
buy the Cronus Max.
Here's the other catch. Here's the only other catch. If you want this thing, at least for now, you have to import it because it is only available in Europe. I know.
Just buy the Cronus Max.
The Cronus,
Which is kind of funny, thinking about it, because Xbox is not that great in Europe, right? So, and in North America, it's much bigger. So you would think, like, more people would like their. Who knows?
or
I
as
don't know.
Chief Thomas says, get an adapter at GameStop. That is, yeah, but then aren't you're wiring yourself up, right?
No, 100% wireless.
What?
Yeah. Is it the new Cronus Max or whatever?
Yeah, the Cronus Max.
Oh, is that what you're talking? Hold on. Well, now the Chronos Max Plus. Ooh. Oh my.
So then you could use your Elite controller.
Oh my.
Or the
Wow.
Elite 2, right?
Okay. Well, it also
Except the buttons don't match. So it says like press X. So you press X and it's like, dang, that's square. Or vice versa.
fully mod your controller without voiding the warranty.
Now I feel like you'll get used to that fairly quickly, though. I feel like you overcome that. Like it wouldn't be that bad.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I can testify to that because with the going between the Xbox and the Switch, B and A are just hosed, X and Y hosed. So
yeah, true.
Yeah.
You're talking like
PlayStation's always the same anyway. It's like the Xbox and PlayStation are mapped almost identical.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it used to be the back of the day, like with the PS3 at least. Like the worst thing you had to deal with was was it the bumper or the triggers. Those were reversed.
Yeah.
But now it's all Xbox style now. So
we got a date on
It's
another controller too.
$59, Coop. Not that bad price,
$59.
actually.
But is it 59 pounds or $59?
59. No, I'm talking about the Cronus device.
Yeah.
I don't know if.
Oh.
A different controller got a release date too.
Yep.
Yes, it did. If you wait,
Labo?
hold on. What are we talking
Duke.
about before I? Yes, and I forgot to take a screenshot of it. Seamus got the Duke finally. It's coming out in March, and it's $70. That bad boy looks exactly like the Duke.
Yeah, it looks great.
exactly like it.
Except it has the bumpers.
Well, it has that. Well, but it has to.
Yeah, I guess you do.
So
That's cool.
my question about it though is, what are you going to do with those extra buttons? I assume you can map them a little bit, right?
It probably is mapped to the shoulder buttons, or maybe you can customize.
Well, like the white and the black button, because there's still a select and a
right. But maybe those are like the shoulder buttons.
3 buttons essentially.
Well, did they get a look at the top of it? Are there bumpers or are there triggers at the top?
Well, it's got the triggers, and then there are bumpers above that, I believe.
Oh, really?
Hmm?
Hold on, I'm looking. I'm looking at because I thought the black and white button would be the bumpers, but like maybe wrong. I haven't seen a picture of the top of it yet.
Yeah, it does
Now,
have the black and white,
could-
but there's the bumpers
can
above the
tune it.
triggers.
If you can tune it to be like a share button, like, oh my!
Yeah,
I
wouldn't
might
that be
actually-
something?
That
Like
would
if you
be
could actually map it.
that would be great. But I don't think.
There would have to be software support
Yeah,
for
exactly.
share.
I don't think that's happening.
There would have to be something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, I didn't get a picture of it.
But hopefully this PlayStation controller has longer battery life then.
I hope so.
So, welcome in Mirage Leonardo 84. So, actually, I want to shout out a bunch of people who have jumped in real quick because, again, coming over from YouTube, a few people have our good friends have followed us. So, Chief Tama, Super Cooper, and Witty, and Lord Cognito from the Great Iron Lords podcast, which I checked out. I was able to check out live this morning finally, and they have, man, you're talking about a great show. They're great guys, and I immediately got on their podcast link, and the first thing I hear is Neo Geo, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna sit back and listen for a while and enjoy, because they were talking retro, and Cognito and I, we're Dreamcast guys, right, Cog? Dreamcast forever.
All these old people.
Oh, stop it! And of course,
gaming started with the HDMI cable.
oh,
Come
stop
on.
it! And
I missed
You
the
couldn't
Dreamcast
see
mostly
what.
'cause I
How
was-
could you guys even see what was going on with the standard definition AUX cables? How could,
wait a
how
minute!
could
Whoa! The Dreamcast had VGA out, brother.
Nope. Don't
Yep.
care.
It was
If you no HDMI cable, garbage.
It was 480p before anybody else. It
Yeah,
was.
honestly, if you need more than 8 bytes of RAM in your device, it's just too much. See, I go back. That's not true.
Sinclair.
It's actually not true. No, I'm thinking about my 2600 that's sitting over here, and people don't, you look at it, and of course the games show it. They're old, but when you look at what they were able to do with that, the cartridges were no more than like 4 kilobits or 4 kilobytes of data, and it had 128 bytes of RAM. That's how much RAM the console had. 128 bytes.
Oh, I know.
So I appreciate the history. I love the old stuff.
Also, Project Jeff. Now, the chat room sort of reset itself on me because I went to another screen and came back. But Project Jeff, our good friend, is also in the chat room, and I know there were a couple other people that I am missing only because, like I said, my let me pop the chat room out. That way it does not happen again. So, and of course we had to, clean up some messes, but we're good. And everybody who's been hanging with us tonight, we appreciate you. We always appreciate you. So, all right. Next up on the list, we have a Microsoft Game Studio sighting. So, everybody, I believe this is his picture, because I hope so, because I typed it into Google and that's what came up. This is Matt Booty. He is the new vice president for Microsoft Studios. I think they're now just calling it Microsoft Studios. It's not Microsoft Game Studios. It's Microsoft Studios. And so once Phil got the call to the Emerald Palace and got a seat at the Camelot table, somebody needed to take over to run the studios, to run the internals, and they picked Matt Booty, who was already there running Minecraft, and now he is in charge of the entire first-party stable. And he has already said out of the gate, as Phil has said recently, they know what's going on. They know what they have to do, and that's what they're working on now. In fact, I think Phil Spencer, I read an article that said he even understands the memes and the issues that, the jokes about Microsoft, and they are well aware of the work they got ahead of them. So this was what spurred me to do some streaming this weekend, because one of his positions before here. Oh, very nice, nicely done. Poet. I see that. You don't even know it. One of his previous developers he worked for was one of my favorites, Midway Games, and so some of the couple of Midway game videos that you saw up on the channel, Ready to Rumble Boxing 2 and Gauntlet Legends, and I'm going to re-record some of the others. He was responsible for a lot of great games out of Midway. And so he's now running. He's corporate vice president of Microsoft Studios. That is his exact title. And see, Lord Cognito knows. It was a quality lineup at Midway. And remember that a lot of Midway stuff was in that launch for the Dreamcast, like Ready to Rumble Boxing. So he is hopefully ready to rock and roll. And it's going to lead into another news story, but I want to get everybody's thoughts on the appointment of Matt to head of Game Studios.
Didn't know him before, so
okay.
Wasn't aware of him, so
he's a Mojang man.
Yes,
but I mean he comes with a pedigree. He very much comes with a pedigree.
Right. And wasn't he also involved with the acquisition of the whole Minecraft? I thought he was somehow involved.
I don't know if
I'm not sure if he was directly involved in that, but he's a big Mojang guy, so I gotta respect him.
Yeah,
they have made a ton of money.
Yes,
like, they say they sold like 175 million copies by now.
Yeah.
Anchor says he's a
Aren't
Mojang
there like
man.
74 million people playing it?
Mojang man.
Something crazy.
Well, I was thinking of Heart. Man. He's a Mojang man. You know the song, like Magic Man?
Yes.
Yeah, the whole thing.
I was thinking of Mojang man.
Yes, yeah, that's nice too. To the rescue. No, Minecraft is super huge beyond belief. It's going to be cool. I think, a lot of people don't know him.
75 million concurrent players.
Yeah.
Has sold over 144 million copies.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy.
It is what it is. But I think I don't know if he has that kind of recognition yet, like Peter was saying there. But he can get it fast enough if he does the job. If he brings games, he brings exclusives, opens some studios, buys some studios, whatever. He'll be big pretty quick. I'm only slightly familiar with some of his work, and I've only looked into the whole. I've only followed his promotion so much, but the things I have read from him sound good. Like he's saying the right words, so that's good. And so far, it hasn't been the usual Microsoft mishmash of messaging around him and what they're going to be doing. So that's all positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
and hopefully he can keep those messages, the whole messaging, nice and tight, and
I would hope so.
It'll be good.
I mean, he's going to be basically, Phil Spencer's going to be, developing the strategy, and Matt here is going to be executing it.
Yeah,
and that's his job. So, Ivan, what are your thoughts here?
Like I said, he's a Mojang man. I gotta respect that. They have done some big work over there, and to making they have made sure that Minecraft is profitable, but always doing big new things. So I have respected them for that, and they have made a big effort to make the console versions, especially, available. And one of the big things too is he's been pushing has been crossplay. Because remember, Minecraft was the game that was going to push crossplay above everything else, and he has pushed that message. And I know we talked about this on Tech the other day. Microsoft can use that, and there was something I think it was echoed by Lord Addict on the Iron Lords this morning, but he was saying he's taking Phil Spencer's position, and if you ever get promoted, the person underneath you who's immediately replacing you, you kind of understand where they're coming from a little bit more in the future. So I have a feeling that if Matt Booty comes up to Big Phil's desk and says, "Hey, I need a little something. I need something to work on," Phil's going to say, "Just say how much." Phil will give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, and he's also got some executive experience. He has been in some places. He's been VP of product development. He's been an intern CEO. So he's also got that leadership. By the way, he was a general manager on Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport 5. So he was GM for Redmond Game Studios. I'm looking down his credentials. I mean, his name is on Mortal Kombat. In fact, Shaolin Monks that you streamed, he was management during that. NBA Ballers, PsyOps, Slugfest, Hits. He was a general manager during on Project Spark, LA Rush. I mean, this guy knows what he's doing. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing, and hopefully they've taken this message very seriously, and it looks like they have. I mean, they're trying to put their ducks in a row here, and hopefully this works out for them. So, Nate, you haven't said anything yet. That's because you're on mute again.
Yeah.
He's probably been trying to talk to us the whole time. He's going.
No, all I said was I don't know anything about Mr. Booty. I only know things about Mrs. Booties. So
nice.
Oh, jeez, come on.
Well,
and I heard that Forza 5 wasn't the best one. So.
Twitch is going to put in a downvote just for us. That's what we're going to do.
Right. Forza 5 was okay. It did a nice job of bringing the models of the cars and some of the aspects of driving and 1080p 60 focus and all that. But I'm not sure that it was entirely finished. at the time of launch. I don't believe the Xbox One X was entirely, or I'm sorry, the Xbox One was entirely finished at the time of launch. So I think it was, it had some issues. It was solid though. It was worth a play at the time. Although now with 6 and even more so 7, it's not what I go back for like I would 4.
Sure.
Yeah, true.
No, yeah. I could go with that.
I did go back into Forza Horizon 3 just on this offshoot here, but with the X enhancement, and good lord, it is gorgeous. It is so gorgeous, and the other enhancements like the enhanced draw distance, and just it's so nice. And I know a lot of people were looking for a 60 frames per second out of it, and apparently the developers went out afterwards and said that it is something they could have done on the machine, but they just chose not to focus that way. I don't feel bad about it though, because when you play that game, it feels really smooth. I mean, again, we've talked about this before. When you go from, say, Forza Horizon to a motorsport, you can feel the difference. But if you're not making that, hot water, cold water swap there, it feels really, really smooth even at 30. And the extra draw distance is super sweet.
Yeah.
And I found my car, my Focus ST that I love so much. Found it in there and got a bitchin' screenshot to put on my desk at work, and I was very pleased.
Nice. All right. Well, that kind of brings us into another small topic. Actually, doesn't have to be a small topic, but there's a rumor flying around as part of all this that Fable's being remade, and Playground Games might be doing it. Now, this had been rumbles within Twitter and things like that until Eurogamer wrote an entire article about it and said that they're talking to someone close to the source of development that says, yeah, this is commissioned by Microsoft to Playground Games to make a new Fable, a mainline Fable. And so now, Twitter is all abuzz about getting a brand new Fable game. And I wanted to know your guys' thoughts as far as, why Playground, why not keep Lionhead and just get them to make this game? Why scuttle that entire development studio only to farm the game out to another studio? One who, by the way, hasn't done a game like this yet. They've only really done racing games. So, we can go around the room.
Fable kart racing? No?
Yeah!
Hey, Fable kart racing.
I'm all over this one. Here's the thing. Playground, they've proven they can deliver a product in a timely fashion and get things done, which is something that MS needs drastically. Also, they've picked up a ton of people. I don't remember all the finer details, but they have picked up a lot of quality people from all over different studios have come in, and they've really expanded it. So I say go for it. If they're the hot hand, give it to them. I loved the folks at Lionhead that I talked to on the regular occasionally. I loved Fable Legends, but if it wasn't what people wanted, I liked it. I'll defend Fable Legends to my death. But
as will I. I'm there with you.
There definitely was a swell of, why isn't this another mainline Fable? So if you're Microsoft, you give people what they want.
Do you think it's going to be Ocean involved in this new Fable?
Could be. I mean, I don't know.
Forza Horizon 3 is the
Yeah,
this new Fable this new Fable will be in Australia.
Yeah, right.
Well, not Australia. Maybe it's just
it'll be horse-drawn kart racing.
Maybe in the
No, like I said, I just think that we know Playground can put out a quality product in a good time frame, and we've seen other studios go from doing one thing to another and pull it off, and I don't think that these people are any less talented. I'm just kept picking up on what Woody's saying here. I'm not sure what we're talking about with hypocrisy, but yeah, no, I mean that definitely that game's going to be a way off. But it's definitely exciting to have a Fable. I've loved the Fable games. even with their flaws. The first one, obviously made some promises that couldn't be kept, but it was still a solid game once you got past that. The second one may be my favorite. I'm all for more Fable. So yeah, I say do it. I say give it to the hot hand, and I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be sweet.
Yeah, I'm curious what direction they go with this. With Fable. Maybe want to,
Yeah, I mean it's a long ways off, like Whitty said. So it's and we'll probably know more about it, before it comes. But yeah, I got no qualms with giving it to Playground at all.
Well, and now the Eurogamer article said that Microsoft wanted to do this because they saw, success with Horizon Zero Dawn and so on. So,
that's giving Horizon Zero Dawn a bit much credit, in my opinion.
I think that was a great title.
It's a great game, but there were all kinds of great single-player open-world games that were also
but I don't think
successful.
Fable would be anything like The Witcher 3 or anything like that.
No, but Xbox always wanted to make like an adventure game. That's why they,
it's not going to be like Horizon Zero Dawn either. At least I hope not.
Exclusive launch for Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah,
stuff. So they always been. I don't think it's reactionary at all.
Yeah, it's just the balance. They've been, they've gotten a lot of heat, and the perception, the general perception becomes reality, right? They don't have this. The death of single player games. Yes, there was a stretch where they had more multiplayer than single player games. So they put out plenty of single player games this generation that were quality single player games, and the idea that basically there's some fanboys that want to say that there's a HDD's sterling success. It sold so many that it impressed Microsoft. I'm sorry, I just don't buy that. And then they'll also say, well, there was a job listing that said we would like to make a Horizon Zero Dawn type game. And I think that people just read way too much into that because it was the buzzing. Game at the time.
Yeah, but that's the game that they mentioned. That's what I.
Well, yeah, because it was the game at the time. Had it been next year, maybe they'd say God of War. Had it been the previous year, maybe they say whatever that was, UC4
or like
whatever.
Or if they said like, I see where you're going with this. And they could have said, "Oh, we want to make a Breath of the Wild type game."
Right.
They could have picked any game, but Horizon Zero Dawn was probably a little bit the closest thing to what they were looking for. But where it's like,
it's possible he was playing that game at that moment too.
Right. It's just this push out there that it can't be just the normal natural thing where there's actually a balance to the ecosystem of games, and they want to bring all kinds of content. They had to be, MS had to be made to do it. They had to be shown the light by Sony. Get out of here with that. Not hearing it.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Phil has made statements that
I think it did help. I would say Horizon Zero Dawn did help to an extent. Because I think it would be very different if Horizon Zero Dawn came out and had like really bad reviews or something like that,
or bombed, critically.
If it had bombed, if it had bombed, people would be like, no, we don't want to make a game like that,
right? and remember, part of what was going on was Xbox first-party games were bombing. I mean, it's called as what it is. They were not doing well at all. And then you turn around and you look at PUBG, which immediately out of the gate, multi-million sold. And it's easy for somebody to look at both hands and go, where am I making my money? And so to Anchor's point, if Horizon Zero Dawn did not do well, maybe they aren't so quick to run out there and do this.
I don't know. This isn't. It happens on a timetable that it can't really be that related to HDD sales because in order to have this happening, in order to get this rolling, there are a lot of decisions had to happen quite some time ago. MS was offered to have the Fable IP purchased from them, and they declined it. They held onto it for a reason. Talks with who's going to be doing the game would have had to started, some time ago to start getting people around and get the right people on it. People from different places, like Playground, is brought in. This is not something that happened, because HDD hit, 3 million in the almost 4 months or whatever it took to do it. No, that's just people who want to, like I said, downplay anything that's positive, anything that's Microsoft coming to grips or coming into what people want. The narrative has to change. It has to be, something has to be bad. Power for years.
Yeah, but nobody said this was. But nobody says this is bad.
No, it's not bad. It's not allowing Microsoft to have credit for just making this decision to have a balanced ecosystem. It has to be inspired by Sony. It has to be. It's all nonsense. It's just no. I don't buy it. Too many things had to happen for this to be a thing. Long before anyone was really talking about HDD sales numbers for HDD to be the reason this is happening, which is the argument they hear.
Okay, I mean, I
just don't buy it.
I don't think it's a bad thing if that's what Phil Spencer thought. I think we're putting too much into, it would be. What would you have the same reaction if they said Zelda? I mean,
yes, because it's not like there was any one single player open world game that is the cause for this. It's just Microsoft's normal pendulum of reaction, and these things take time to turn around, and the problem is that the headwind's ahead of it. All they have is multiplayer, and so that becomes the narrative until it changes, and then they're only doing it because they have to, because they were showing, or da 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 da. It's just nonsense.
Well, I'm gonna give you his words.
Yep.
And speaking to GamesBeat, Phil Spencer says, "I am not deaf to the meme out there regarding our content and our need to invest more. Definitely, we are at a point where we are investing more, and we'll continue to do that. When I look at Matt and his responsibility with his team is about charting our future in first-party content." So he knows that gamers are banging on them for this. So, this is a company that even Rare is making a multiplayer game, and that's not what they were completely known for, even themselves. Again, they didn't turn to Lionhead and say, "Okay, guys, Fable Legends didn't work, but I want you to get to work on a mainline Fable game." The idea that it's like I said, I don't think it's this bad thing that they are reacting. I'd rather them react than not react.
Oh, they're reacting, but what they're reacting to is something that happened a long time ago. They're not reacting to one game or another being successful. That's just the people who are on Twitter, the people who follow it very closely, the people who then also write articles. And I'll say it before. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Fanboys can be in the media. If fanboys can exist anywhere, who is more likely to get a job talking about gaming and writing for gaming than an actual fanboy? And being in the media does not make one not a fanboy just by nature of being in the media. So, those people will remember, Phil saying things like, how impactful can HCD be? Because or Zelda, those are great games and all, but how can they can't really impact? And basically, he was just talking about lifetime earnings possibilities being larger on multiplayer and service type games. But that became its own meme. This is what he's talking about. He's talking about the perception. He's talking about the headwind, basically.
But he's talking about what the fans are saying. He's talking about why his console is not generating as many. Go ahead, Anchor. See, this is the problem. This is the problem with you not having a camera. Is we can't tell when you want to talk.
No, Here's the thing. Here's what I heard, at least what happened, at least in this regard. From my understanding, Playground wanted to make a new game from scratch. And they had... How do I phrase this exactly? They wanted to make a brand new game from scratch, but they knew it was going to be hard to sell that game by itself. And supposedly Phil offered, hey, do Fable instead. And they used it as a means to basically automatically greenlight that title, no matter what it was. And by having an exclusive franchise, you could actually allow them to say, okay, it's going to be exclusive because we own the IP.
Like Scalebound.
We're going to cover it. Yeah, like Scalebound, but it was automatically, if you said, hey, this is a brand new Fable, that would immediately hold more weight than a brand new IP.
I agree with that.
People would be more willing to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
I could agree with that. So the actual sentence that Eurogamer said was, "We've heard Microsoft's rekindled interest in Fable was in part inspired by Sony's phenomenal success with Guerrilla Games' PS4 exclusive Horizon Zero Dawn."
What is that sentence though? We've heard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what kind of journalism is we've heard. That's not even specifically tying it to their source. That's not even actually saying that the guy who said the other thing said this. It's just we've heard.
And who knows who he heard it from? I
don't buy it.
I think
we heard on Twitter.
I don't think you've heard on Twitter. I think they would. I think they would have said industry insider blah 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 blah, and they didn't. So these are folks that Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo don't shun either. So my point is that if they're doing this because they took a look at Horizon Zero Dawn selling 3.4 million copies and said, you know what? All right, maybe single player games really can succeed. Let's get back to it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, that's what, it would be like people saying, hey, look at what Zelda did. And I mean, look at what Mario really, I'm not sure if Mario Galaxy or Mario, so you had me thinking Galaxy.
Right.
The better game. Odyssey. If those were games that were worth, if developers look at how many copycat games there are out there because other games do so well. I don't think this is necessarily a slap in the face to anybody to say that. They looked at it and like you said, Anchor's point, if HGZ didn't sell anything, maybe they look at that against what they just did with PUBG and go, yeah, I think we're going to stick with what makes us money.
Or they could look at Zelda or any of the other number of single-player open-world games that have been successful. Like I said, the push out there for the narrative is just to make HDD more impactful than maybe it actually is.
I don't know.
I think we're reading a little too much into this. I think what they were all they were trying to say is, hey, we're looking to make a game like HDZ or ZD, whatever. Basically trying to say, hey, we just want an RPG light. That's it.
Well,
we want a game that's not that long. It's not that deep. It's just it hits it to technically be called a action RPG. That's it.
Single player. I'm sure it was a
single
thing.
Player. Yeah, that's what I think more than anything is that we've had this discussion about whether single player versus multiplayer games are the wave of the future, and it's hard. It's been hard to argue when you have Rainbow Six that still sells even 2 years after it's and Grand Theft Auto, which the only reason Grand Theft Auto is still selling because people are playing it online. So it's a compelling argument that those are the games that sell, and then they look at PUBG and how quick that came out of the gate for Microsoft, despite the fact that it was insanely buggy. And it's hard to look at that and go, well, we're going to go against where our money is. So that's, like I said, I think if you're I think if you look at it from the standpoint of they just looked and to your point, if that's something that didn't Horizon Zero Dawn come out before Zelda?
I think it was pretty close, wasn't it?
I'd have to look.
Well, I think Horizon Zero Dawn did come out before Zelda, and
I believe it was first, definitely. I'm not sure about how long.
So
because Zelda came out at launch for Switch.
Right. I'm not playing with the colors. Or you're not talking to me.
No, Anchorman did.
Oh.
Mine is orange now.
Ah.
No,
okay, well,
to clarify, just to wrap up my bit on it, and to clarify, I'm all for them taking inspiration from wherever they get it, and and I don't believe ever that they really needed to be shown the light on single player. I just don't buy that. They put out a lot of good single player games this gen, so I just don't think that that's true. But if it was, and they did, sweet, better for me.
Better for everybody. Better for the entire gaming industry if they can get back to some of this high quality stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's not talk about get back. That's kind of crazy. They've had tons of high quality stuff this generation. Whether or not it's been commercially successful or critically acclaimed, something like Halo Wars 2 is tragically underrated. It's actually great, but it won't be so because nothing could be in 2017 for Microsoft. It just wasn't going to be accepted as such unless it was pretty much perfect. I mean, you look at Forza 7, and that they found a way to derail that with the faux outrage over loot crates, which is just beyond ridiculous. The only one that the games that get through clean are the ones that they manage to make nothing that you can criticize about. Look at Cuphead. Cuphead's widely accepted, but what can you really criticize about that game? So,
Forza Horizon 3.
Yeah, another game that's almost perfect. Like, honestly, just about perfect. So,
Halo
it's
5?
considered good. Well, Halo 5's campaign, I don't think was even as good as Halo War 2's campaign.
Still sold a ton.
Yeah, but that's Halo. I mean, it will, and the multiplayer had legs too, which helps because the multiplayer is actually quite good in that. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to go on for too long about it. I just don't think that there was any kind of big revelation at Microsoft that single player games were something that needed to to be had. I just don't buy it.
All right, fair enough. I can only go by what I read. And
sure.
That's all right. So, but everybody's happy with the prospect of a Fable game, a mainline Fable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, could it also been that Playground was already working on a game, and after Line at Fiasco, they said, "Hey, how about we make this Fable?"
So I was looking at when they created that second studio, and I think it was before that or it was after that happened. It was definitely after Lion had closed, but I don't think it was too. I'm not sure it was that long ago that they decided to open their second their studio. I'm looking at it now. It looks like it was about February. Yeah, according to an article on Game Industry Biz, which is a very good site for this. This was around the beginning of February. It said, Forza Horizon developer Playground Games is planning to open a second development studio, and that was beginning of February. So, kind of was around that time that that Horizon Zero Dawn came out. So now, at the time, though, they never said anything about what they were working on, nor did they say anything about what platforms it was and anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another. If this is true, getting back to Playground Games actually doing it, if this is true, this kind of keeps Playground Games in the Microsoft stable, so to speak. And we've heard that Phil wants to open a checkbook and maybe even build those internal studios. Maybe there's a play for Playground Games here. Pardon the wordsmithing. I mean, they could bring Playground Games into the Microsoft fold.
I think this is a test for them, honestly. I think if this goes well for Playground and they do a good job with this, that shows they're a multifaceted studio who's not just good at making racers. And if that's the case, then I think that's kind of the mantra, at least with Microsoft going forward. Like, they have these studios that are geared towards very specific things, and I think they're trying to maneuver them around to be able to do other different projects. I think it's going to be a big focus, especially like right now. If they're going to pick up a new studio, you better be able to do several different types of games. You better do anything like that. So it saves on overhead costs.
Yeah.
So that's and I bet you can get them for fairly cheap. I mean, they really only have the Horizon game pedigree, so you're right. This could be a test.
Well, but if this Fable is successful, then the price will go up.
Yeah, that's the thing. But then it would be money worth spent.
Yeah,
it was
true.
Money, really.
I guess.
Like, what would you rather do? Like, would you rather throw down? I don't know. Throw out a number. You're like $100 million to buy out the studio, and before Fable, then it sucks. And then it's like, damn it, we're stuck with this one particular studio who can only do racing games. Or you can wait till a little bit later. They can double the price, but it would be money worth spent knowing you'll get good products going forward. They will return on that investment.
I have full belief that you would get a good product from Playground regardless. It's Playground.
Well, they can make.
There will come a time that Playground will be referred to like Naughty Dog is referred to.
I'm sure they would love that.
That's what's going to happen. That's my wager.
Only time will tell.
I am sure that is something that they would love for to have behind them. But and look, Horizon, because don't forget, I think they're still working on Horizon 4. So this is they're now going to be making basically 2 games for Microsoft at the same time. Mm-hmm. This could be the play. This could be where Microsoft's heading, where they just snap them up. So
yeah, it's a start.
It's a good start. It's a really good start. So that is Fable, and the possibility that Fable is being made by Playground Games. Boy, I tell you what, for all this discussion we just had about it, they better be doing it. Otherwise, what the hell were we arguing about for 20 minutes?
So chicken.
Right. All right. So, I forgot to grab a logo for this, but it's okay. We're going to talk about it anyway. What in the world did I just see category?
The PlayStation shoes?
Well, there was that. Hold on. Let me see if I can slow this slideshow down a little bit. Welcome to the Nintendo Labo.
Yay!
Yeah.
This is when I leave. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah.
It's so funny when you look at this and then compare it to their original marketing spiel about sitting on your rooftop, drinking pina coladas and other fancy drinks, and you know, somebody brings out their, I don't know, their cardboard and it starts blowing all over the place.
The robot suit.
Yeah,
It's
the
like-
robot suit's gonna come up in a second.
robot
But, oh
suit.
my god! Oh man! So
Well, it's like we have to order pizza because we need cardboard, you know.
So the idea behind this is you have these kits, and you can get starter kits for this stuff, or you can, I think you can make these on your own, and you basically build cardboard things that you stick your Switch into that can act as waggle controllers and stuff like this. Like right here. So you have this bike top motorcycle thing that you could build, and you slide the Joy-Cons into the side there and put the Switch screen right in the middle, and there you go. You are that is so real. That just looks so real to me.
I'm out. Yeah.
You know, you do a sword fighting game and you end up with actual paper cuts. So realistic.
Nice.
I mean,
I think it's brilliant. I think
It's
it's
neat.
amazing.
okay.
And
You
it's-
all right? You need to sell me on this.
Well, basically, it's genius to sell cardboard for $70.
Yeah.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean-
there is that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna watch Sony put R&D into VR. You're gonna watch Microsoft put R&D into, a most powerful console, and then you're gonna see Nintendo like, yeah, we're gonna outsell you making cardboard boxes. So it's kind of fabulous. But here's the thing: if I were real young, I'd be all over this. If I had a kid, I'd be all over them. There's a real kind of joy of discovery, of learning, of all that. That goes with this. I think that's, obviously it's not for someone like me, although I can also admit that as much as it's not for me, some of how it works, and I only have very few details, but some of how it works is pretty slick. Like the piano thing, the cardboard keys have a reflective material on the back of them, and it uses infrared light that bounces back when the keys are depressed off the reflective material to know that you're pressing it, because how else would the Switch know? So there's some pretty neat design that goes into it, actually. And like I said, they're gonna sell gazillion of them, and it's gonna be how, I don't know. I imagine I had to spend something to research, the design to make them, but how hard can it be? How expensive can it be to actually produce the cardboard? So it's brilliant.
I think this is how this whole product came about. It's like, with kids. What do they, you buy them all those expensive toys. What do they play with? Just a box.
Yep.
So Nintendo said, hey, wait a second. Oh, we're just going to sell that box. There you have
It's
it.
brilliant. It's really, really, really smart in my opinion. It takes me back, it makes me think of when I was a kid, and me and my neighbor kid would make ninja weapons out of whatever constructor sets we had. They weren't Legos, but some other thing that connected pieces together, and we'd make ninja weapons
was
that
it metal?
pretend to be. No, it was plastic. It was,
There it is. There's the robot.
Yeah.
and we'd be ninjas. We'd be Ninja Turtles or whatever with the thing that we made. This is that times 100 is what it is.
Look at he's got stuff on his feet that
And what's that headset? Is that where you put the Switch in? So you have a heads-up display?
I don't know what that is.
Literally?
Well, no, look, it's a no. I think it's HoloLens is what it is.
Yeah.
They beat Microsoft to HoloLens. Damn it. There are all kinds of DIY kits. You can make a piano, a fishing pole, the motorcycle thing. The other question is do you have to stick with the preset models?
It looks that way. With stuff like the piano, that's and the backpack. That's all. There's like pulleys. There's like a cable
Yeah, I
pulley
see
system
that.
in there. So yeah, these are.
It
These
comes
aren't
with
necessarily-
software. So,
Yeah, these aren't necessarily freeform.
yeah.
So, and if you have kids ages 6 to 12 and live near San Francisco or New York City, they're having an event for these. Now, is it Labo or Labo? Might be Labo. Maybe Labo. Anybody know how it's said?
I'm going to go with Labo because Labo sounds like
Lego.
Sounds like that or genitalia.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna avoid that one.
Yeah.
But why that name anyways? I don't know. I don't know.
That is the last thing that I thought of, but okay.
I'm not wrong.
I
It
guess.
wasn't me. I have to say in my household it wasn't me who thought of that. That wasn't.
Okay. This is. I mean, HTK said something at the very beginning that kind of has stuck with me on this. Nintendo has spent all this time telling you that the Switch is really only great for millennials.
Yeah.
And hitting the basketball court and then playing NBA 2K8 instead of actual basketball. But
right.
all of a sudden, you're a robot, or you're playing a makeshift 8-key piano, and I'm just trying to figure out why.
Why not? It's something that's different. Again, it's going to set itself apart.
Like there's a house
from everything else on the market.
There's a house. You could build a house. What game do you play? Was that Grand Theft Auto? As you break into a house, there's a fishing rod. A fishing rod.
Nintendo's giving you the tools to rob people now.
I
Probably ties into the new Final Fantasy minigame bundle.
Right.
What you do first is you go in, you put on the boxing gloves, you go and punch out the window, and then you go over to the safe and with the piano keyboard where it actually fine-tunes itself into the lock system, and then you have to play a certain thing to unlock the safe, and then after that you see a laser-guided system where you have to get the fishing pole, and you go, all right, pull it back in.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm wondering. I don't know.
I'm curious. What's the age that they're targeting this? Because if they're getting like a little older, then you have your Raspberry Pis and other stuff. Or you can build a whole bunch of crazy jazz.
Yep.
Well, I wish we could. Good.
No, I mean, and now when you look at schools and stuff, robotics is it's huge, and it starts at a young age. So I'm really trying to figure out what age is this still?
Well, I was watching. I'm watching the trailer, and I wish I could put the trailer up, but Lord knows Nintendo might find us over here on Twitch and shut us down for showing.
Probably
the trailer.
even those images you will have to black out.
Probably, but I mean, the people in the trailer were the same millennials that were. I mean, there's a kid.
Why do you have to take it down on the millennials here? We didn't do anything. You can't.
This is your fault, This is your fault, Ivan. You and Nathan. This is the two of you.
It's your generation older who's making these products.
This is true. There was some.
I don't even have a Switch.
It doesn't matter. This is your fault.
No.
I have a Switch, but it's dusty.
I would be caught dead with that thing. What? That is not my fault.
With what thing? The Switch?
No, that thing right there.
Oh. It's not for us.
No.
I guess.
Trying to figure it out who it is
and
for.
It's genius. It's brilliant.
I mean, for your standpoint, the way you're putting it, it is genius. But for you're looking at it and it's like $75 for that.
Yep.
Yeah, you can get a Raspberry Pi robotics kit for that price.
I could go out to the
I'm gonna
hobby
start
store
calling it how
and
to
get an erector
slow
set
your
with
libido
motors
go.
for that.
Yeah.
I could actually build an actual robot for $70 now.
Yeah.
You worried me for a second because I heard something very different.
I think I did say what you thought I said. For people with low libidos.
I said erector set. That's all I'm saying. Oh
I mean,
my
look,
God.
there is even a hole right there.
Oh my God.
Hennessy Blue that looks like a pill.
How did I meet you guys again?
It's part number V1. You know.
It's a good. See, it's a good thing we're over on Twitch now because YouTube would just demonetize this video just based on. We would not be advertiser friendly. Now I got it. Now, thank you, Nathan, because now I've got to turn on the mature audiences feature, and they have to click.
They can't figure out what we're talking about. What are you talking about?
So, Super Cooper / BVR BLVR Burver Blurver.
I know that.
We're gonna call him Burver
Totally
Blurver.
I'm like, what the heck?
He's got a good point, though. How many people are going to let their 6-year-old throw a $300 console around in a cardboard box?
Yeah.
I don't know. I see people walking around with, give their kids their tablets, their iPads.
You should see what I have around my child's iPad. It is a freaking foam super... Like, the iPad is only this big.
Mm-hmm.
With the case, it is this big. I mean, you can launch it off the roof of the house, and it will bounce back up into their hands. There is no way that I have let my child have an iPad without...
I want to see this video now. I want to see you throwing it off the building now.
Well, if I can't get my friggin' kids to behave, that's what's going to happen.
Ooh.
Make sure you record it. Man.
I'm going to have to call your house and say, hey.
You ever see the video? You ever see the video of the dad that ran over his son's Xbox case with the tractor?
Right.
Yeah.
It would be like that.
Mm.
And they need it because my middle child he has mild autism, so he has some sensory issues, and if you get him riled up, he will take his iPad and he will literally throw it. And so we have that really thick green padding around it for that exact reason. This is cardboard. You can land on this and kill your Switch. Imagine if RoboCop here accidentally trips and falls backwards. I mean, his Switch is going crunch. Imagine if Evel Knievel drops his homemade handlebars there. I mean, this is
I'm telling you, it's just more Nintendo brilliance. Then you have to buy another one.
buy another Switch.
Send it in for repairs. It's just they're just on top of their game. You can't touch them.
This was inspired by the Red Ring of Death.
Right.
Death
It's funny.
imminent.
I've never had that problem with my original.
Oh, really?
I had it once, and you know what actually fixed it? The damn towel trick.
That's awesome.
It's funny. So I went through like
Whip it.
360s, and the last one that I had was I sold it because I wanted to have the new model, so I sold it to my friend. And he had it like for a week, and it's like the graphics in Red Dead looking kind of weird. And I went over to his house, and I had like all red pixels, etc. in there. So I went all like kaput. And I bought that one at Costco. Well, what's great about Costco? You just go down there with your broken console, and it's like, it doesn't work anymore. All right, there's the money. So I got a brand new 360 for like, pennies because of the one that is sold. So
Nice.
that's just a funny story.
It's a good one.
All right. Final thoughts on the Nintendo Labo.
curious how long
as I call it,
almost
Labo,
said
the Lobo-agogo.
I'm curious how long it lasts, though.
Yeah, I mean, the fun
I got
factor.
This is a dare. This is a dare. They're just doing this for fun.
Right.
It'll be here for maybe a year. That's gone.
I mean, it's cheap to produce, right? You use some cardboard,
Gotta
some
be.
strings, and some other stuff. So,
Not necessarily its design, but
Right.
yeah.
Weird. All right.
Yeah. I had something I was going to say on that too, but I lost it.
All right. It's okay.
It's old.
It's quite okay. All right.
That's definitely overpriced.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it that for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I got a login to a certain forum that is not a different certain forum, if you know what I mean, and it's crazy the amount of talk and buzz about it. There's dudes going up about regional humidity and how long it might cause it to last, depending on where you live. Because if you live in Florida, then depending on what the weight of the corrugated cardboard is, then you can expect this to last about 2 weeks.
It's not a good thing. If you get flooding, your switch just keeps floating.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so that is that. We're gonna hit one more topic, and then we're gonna go to the rec, and we don't have to spend too much time on this. But the hell was that?
Oh, I thought of oh my God! You said what the hell is that? Oh, I thought of Wreck-It Ralph. I'm gonna wreck it.
Oh, okay. That did not look like Wreck-It Ralph to me.
I can't wait for the new one, man.
Yeah, you know what? I actually, my kids and I enjoyed the first one, so the second one looks good.
Yeah, my dog likes that movie too.
Yeah.
And this one's about the internet, so it should be awesome.
Right. Okay. Very quickly, I want to just go over the NPD December software titles because there's interesting stuff in here, and we get to see the 2017 overall titles to see what the best games of the year were overall. Now, for those of you who are seeing us new on Twitch, we're not really. We don't care a whole heck of a lot about the hardware sales. So once you get into hardware sales, you start kind of squirt towards the console war area, where then everybody in the chat room wants to argue about what their favorite console is, and we just don't do that here. So console sales are console sales. We know
we do that when it comes to the fact that the SNES is the GOAT.
You keep spelling Genesis wrong. But anyway,
So easy. C64 done.
Deacon loves you. So, but we do like to talk about software because we want to, we like to see where the trends are in software because I think that's really where it's at, more so than anything else. I'm going to just check real quick to see if widening it out helps. Does that help with seeing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we'll keep it like that then. All right, so as expected, Call of Duty World War II is the top-ranking game. Now, this is something else, by the way. This is based on dollar sales. This is not based on unit sales. So This isn't necessarily how many copies of said game. And we should have mentioned that every time we go through this because we've never really we've never really given that disclaimer that this isn't unit sales anymore. NPD doesn't do it that way. This is, as you can see here, physical and full game digital for publishers, and the ones that are that have one asterisk or two asterisks rather, digital sales are not included, and if there is a caret, that means no PC digital sales. So Call of Duty World War II is the best-selling game of December, dollar-wise, followed by Battlefront 2 without PC sales. Mario Odyssey is third, and that's without digital sales, you guys will have to explain digital games to me on the Switch if it's as easy to download them as anything else.
It is.
Okay.
It is, but you need a storage card.
Gotcha.
Or micro SD or whatever.
Gotcha. All right.
And Call of Duty's about to go up with the map pack coming out too.
Yeah.
Well, if you notice, go ahead.
No, I'm curious how how much digital sales versus physical sales on the on the Switch.
it seems not to matter because if you look at the top 10, there are 3 games in the top 10. For Nintendo.
Right.
Mario, 2 Marios, Odyssey and Kart, and Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I have all 3 physical. So
yeah, and we know that the Switch had a great holiday season, and was for those who care that it was the best selling console, if you want to call it a console, of December. I still call it a handheld you can dock, but that's just me.
I'm called a Hansel.
A Hansel. And the Joy-Cons are Gretels.
Yeah.
There we go.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'll be here all week. Try the veal. NBA 2K18 comes in at the number 4 spot. Madden comes in. I don't know if maybe that's driven by the playoffs or the X enhancement, but Madden comes in at number 6.
Yeah, and it's dollars, so it's not even like it was on sale or anything that they sold more units. So it's interesting.
So, maybe that card game on there is getting more popular. I don't know.
Now, PUBG comes in at 7.
Blah, blah, blah.
When did that
Without
release?
PC.
Also, PUBG came out like halfway through too.
Yeah, but
So-
how fast did it kick up to 3 million?
We know that
19 days?
And it's only $29.99.
What was that? Oh, so there we
keep
go.
that in mind, too.
Thank you. See, once again, ranked on dollar sales, so that makes sense. That makes sense. If you're half the price, let's say Call of Duty sold 1.5 million copy wise. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. And it probably did. And Call of Duty probably copy wise probably did 3 or 4 million between all the platforms. So you figure Yeah, I could see that. Thank you. Good catch.
And also notice
And I wasn't even on
probably
mute.
including DLC figures in there too.
Right.
Like, you bought the season pass? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure they ever count that though.
I think they count it when they do the raw money figure. They count it.
You think?
Like, think about it, like the deluxe edition, or
Okay,
got the legendary
but that's
edition.
bundles. I'm not sure. I see. I get. Okay, I see what you're saying. Like not the DLC separately. I got you. So so what's fun? Oh, so Assassin's Creed comes in 8th. We have Nintendo in 9th, and at 10 still, because there are still people who I guess like me haven't bought it yet. Grand Theft Auto 5 is still in the top friggin' 10. How is this possible? What is going on?
I don't know. That's confusing. I would say DLC, but it says digital sales not included. So,
not for Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto.
They don't have any.
oh, so maybe that has to be it. The online thing.
So it's not the shark cards either, then, right?
No, it's just the game. So,
I mean, yeah.
around
Who's buying? Who's still buying all that stuff? Like, what the heck?
It's crazy. It is absolutely.
I mean,
crazy.
still, I can see like the first 2 years maybe, for when the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 came out and people want their new version. But I don't know.
I guess
still.
I guess
weird.
people are buying, but I think you're kind of saying it. People are buying a console and then buying that as their game.
Yeah.
Wow. So then you have FIFA 18 round. So we're rounding out the top 20. FIFA 18, Destiny 2, not surprising. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, interesting. Interesting. Splatoon 2, still kicking it. So that's the 4th Nintendo game in the top 20. Need for Speed Payback. I didn't think maybe that game's got some legs.
Maybe.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Just Dance 2018, The Sims 4. Well, I guess we have to count these. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Those are Nintendo exclusive games. Doesn't matter what platform they're on. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Nintendo games on this list.
Hey, can anyone explain how do you play Just Dance without a Kinect?
A controller. How you played it before.
Stupid.
It was.
I mean, yeah.
A, B,
I hear you. I hear you, but that's
Is that
how
what it
that
is?
game. It was.
That's
I
how
think
it
it was
was.
family game night, right? And they had what do you call that Twister on there, and he said the AABBYY really quick, and I'm like, what? This is stupid.
No, it is. But no,
Hmm.
before Kinect came out on the 360 and they had Just Dance, you had the controller.
Huh.
So
I bet you. I would like to know the sales between after the Kinect and with the Kinect, because that just seems pointless to me.
well, I mean,
It still scored.
this is in the top 20. It's a game that's post Kinect, post Wii U. I mean, unless people are buying PlayStation cameras. I mean, I think people are just
Ah,
buying.
yeah, I guess you could do that too then.
So
Although, interesting.
they buying it on the Switch. They can make a cardboard. Make a cardboard breakdance mat.
Great man.
Get back to breaking.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is me showing my age. All right, so that's the December. I want to show you the overall top games of 2017, and we're just going to give the top 10. Call of Duty. It's out a month, and it's the top selling game. Now, once again, this is ranked on dollar sales. NBA 2K18 is the second best-selling game of 2017. Destiny 2, Madden. Madden has had a good year. Just really has. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Next the next one. Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm actually surprised it's number 6, considering it sells every month. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is not bad for being was it now 2-year-old game? When did that come out? Did that come out this year?
This year, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, early in the
Well,
year.
2017.
2017. Okay, so being a year-old game, that's not bad. And in fact, outselling Battlefront is actually kind of impressive. Mario Odyssey and then Mario Kart 8, and of course, again with Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart 8, there are no digital sales. And with Breath of the Wild, there is no digital sales. So we have 3 Nintendo games, and the big 3 sitting in the top 10 of 2017.
Well, it's that whole thirst that existed that caused me to buy a Switch. I mean, you had all those people who wanted those Nintendo IPs back after the Wii U. It's just this is natural order of things, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm curious what will happen in 2018 for Switch games.
We'll see. And Bloover, Super Cooper, he made the point. Battlefront did pretty well considering all the controversy around it.
Yeah.
So may have brought some attention to it, and may have gotten people to look at the game that might not have looked at it before and realized, oh, this is not that big a deal.
It's Star Wars.
It's just a whole gamer thing where they, complain, and I'm not gonna buy it, and then they turn out and buy it.
Yeah.
We've always seen it with Call of Duty
also
too.
people
It's like
stupid.
people bitching about Call of Duty regardless of what it is, and it's still number one
right.
year after year.
Infinite Warfare was what, the most disliked video on YouTube?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep.
Go ahead, Anchor.
It also shows a disconnect between the casual and the hardcore base, as usual.
Right. Well, I mean,
this tends to happen.
GTA does that by itself. Hardcore, Twitter. If you just had your information from Twitter, you'd believe that nobody wants any kind of multiplayer game. Single player is dying, and everyone wants to save single player. What's the biggest game? The mother of all service games, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
You'd believe that Hellblade sold a couple million units. You'd
Right.
believe that this is the thing. Like the Twitter sphere and the hardcore group. Yeah, we have our bases. Yeah, we have our thing we get into, but the casuals are going to do their thing. And any game that comes out that catches their eye, and especially Star Wars. Star Wars was guaranteed to sell.
Mhm.
Like, they knew this. But because people, like, especially, like, if it was one thing, it was like like a 1 year difference or something like that, then yeah, maybe. Like then you could maybe have a chance of like making an impact on the casual market who might remember, yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 1 wasn't very good either. Then you might stand a chance, but the way things are currently, no. It didn't matter. They were going to print money either way.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, Thomas said it did worse than the first one, which is also true. It didn't do as well, but it's still still there.
The first one suckered in all the hardcore people too. It didn't matter. That's the thing. Like now you lost
not all of us.
hardcore people, but
Not all of us. Some of us use EA Access. Some of us use EA Access and then found that it was a shallow husk of a game and didn't buy it.
Right.
And that
But then
awesome.
my mother bought a copy of it for my son for Hanukkah, and there you go. We contributed to it. So yeah. So that's your top games of 2017. All right.
Multiplayer, a sports game, multiplayer, sports game, single player, open world, multiplayer, online, multiplayer online, single player. Yeah.
I call BS. There was no Bethesda on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no Wolfenstein.
Well, maybe it was too late.
It did come out pretty late.
Impact.
Yeah, it did come out. It came out November, right?
In a busy season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, there are a lot of multiplayer on that. So, all right, now it's time for folks on Twitch. You guys are in for a great treat. This is a segment that we have been doing now for how long?
Well, it goes back a ways. This is the 32nd or 33rd?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, we'd like to welcome everybody to Juan's Retro Recommendations.
That video looks better than it did.
Yeah, and I in honor of our first Twitch podcast, I changed it up a bit.
Ah, yes, the jet set. Blaze.
Yes. All right, you want to give everybody just a very, very quick synopsis of what this is while I bring up the video?
Yeah, sure. Basically, what we're just looking at here is every week I take a retro game and I do kind of a little mini deep dive on it, if you will. A lot of times it's games that I enjoyed coming up, or it was a game that I missed and always wanted to play and got into. Like, for example, at the end of the trailer there, we saw Streets of Rage 2. I had never played Streets of Rage 2. It just never cycled in that time in my life. I had a Super NES, and so I did a playthrough on that, really enjoyed it, and then made a retro rec about it. And so that's what I do every week is I pick either something I've enjoyed or something I've wanted to play and dive in. I can kind of show you more than tell you here now that we've got the video loaded up here. So you can go ahead and kick it off. And today we're going to be talking about Golden Axe on the Sega Genesis or the Mega Drive for our friends across the puddle there. This is circa December 1989 on the Sega Genesis in North America. It was developed and published by Sega and their AM1 division to be more accurate, which was Sega's oldest development division, founded in 1984. They were responsible for Altered Beast, Golden Axe, Alien Storm, and the first Shinobi game. They were reorganized into Sega WoW in the year 2000. Published by Sega, founded in June 1960, originally as Service Games, stylized as Sega. Developed consoles from 1938 to 2001, but after Dreamcast losses, they restructured to being a third-party software dev. They're still the world's most prolific arcade producer, over 500 games in 70 franchises on 20 different arcade system boards since 1981. What we're looking at here is a single-player and two-player side-scrolling beat-em-up of the one of the kind of early ones even in the genre. Particularly for home ports. The plot, the evil Death Adder has taken the king of Uria's castle, claiming the royal family and the famed Golden Axe of Uria. He promises to kill the family and destroy the axe unless the people of Uria accept his brutal rule. Players choose to control one of three characters who've lost family and friends to Death Adder and his minions. Axe Battler, the barbarian and wielder of earth magic. Tyrus Flare, the Amazon, blessed with fire magic, and the lightning-wielding dwarf warrior Gilius Thunderhead. Players have the ability to attack, jump, and cast magic with the standard 3-button Genesis controller. Magic Charge is built via the collection of magic flasks, which you can kind of beat off of thief characters, and we just saw Axe Battler's top-level magic. The players must battle through Death Adder's henchmen to reach his castle and defeat him. That includes men armed with clubs, maces, skeletal warriors, and knights. Tyrus Flare jumps here on the back of the turtle, and we see one of the enemy dragon riders. Earlier in the video, we saw the cockatrice, which you could another mount that you could ride, which has a tail sweeping attack. The dragon has a fire breath, and the red dragon actually shoots a fireball. But the cockatrice, some people would recognize that too from that made an appearance in Altered Beast, which is kind of a cool little piece of trivia to my mind. The Genesis version also contained a survival or a duel mode in which you face enemies in consecutively tougher rounds, starting with a henchman and adding and getting tougher, and that's a two-player capable mode as well. I believe that this game actually had two-player friendly fire, which made it a little bit tricky if you were playing with somebody, because if you line up wrong, you could be doing damage to your bad guy. And this is a fairly tough game. Health is kind of hard to come by. Here we see Tyrus having just done her big spell, riding the blue dragon and dealing with some of the larger henchmen and gathering some more magic flasks off of some blue thieves. There's also green thieves, which can drop pieces of meat that serve to refill your health bar. The three different characters differ in their magic bars. You may have noticed at the top. The Tyrus Flare gets the most, whereas the Gilius Thunderhead gets the least of the possible charge to their magic. But Gilius also has a longer reach with his axe than she has with her blade, and Axe Battler, I believe, is kind of in the middle of that spectrum. Lead producer Makoto Yoshida was fond of action movies, Conan movies especially, and he stated that development took his small team about a year to make the game. He wanted to make a Double Dragon game that was not Double Dragon. He didn't want to compete with Technos because they were working on their Kunio-kun series at the time, River City Ransom being an example, and that's the one that we've featured as a retro rec, and it's up on the Twitch as well to check that out. He didn't want to compete with them because he thought they were really onto it with that. He was impressed with Enix's great hit Dragon Warrior, which we've also featured as a retro rec, and he studied the world of magic and swords and combined it with Double Dragon gameplay to make Golden Axe. The Spectrum version of the game went to number 2 in the UK, right behind Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And in 1991, a few years after release, PC Format magazine named Golden Axe one of the 50 best PC games ever, describing it as deliciously animated hacking and slashing. It's readily available online at this point. It averages about $13 for a loose cartridge, according to a popular price charting site that I visit occasionally. I think we had some Amazon credit to take care of, some to clean up, and so I think I get this one for about $10 off of Amazon. And for a retro play, some couch co-op with a buddy, it's pretty well recommended. The sequel actually. The second game is actually really quite good too, but I wanted to kind of start with the first one anyway. And for that price, I don't think you can go too wrong for it. And that is why it is one of this year's their second retro recommendation.
I still dig it.
Nice.
Yeah.
It does look a lot nicer on this, by the way.
Yeah, no, I think on the Twitch stream it does a pretty nice job with the rec. I had to cut back over to it because I was reading through my notes here, but I caught Coop's thing. Altered Beast. I'd say Altered. I think I like Altered Beast better, although it didn't have the two-player simultaneous. This is, I would say, for the couch co-op experience, this would be obviously the better game than the alternating action, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that is correct.
Because I know the arcade of Altered Beast was you could do simultaneous, but I don't think that was the case on the Genesis version.
Not that I'm aware of.
But yep, enjoy playing through that, and it's like I say, if you're going to have a Genesis and build a retro collection around it, I think it's like almost a historically significant title to have for a pretty decent price.
Yeah, it really is. I can't remember. I believe that you can get this on the Xbox 360 too.
Yeah, it was part of. It's also on the Sega. Is it Sega Forever?
Yeah,
is that the server? Something of it's on that, and I believe it was on like an arcade. I can't remember what the title of the particular. It was like an arcade collection or a Sega collection.
Yeah,
on the Xbox Live Arcade.
I can't remember.
Didn't we get over Games for Gold or not?
That I also don't remember.
Look that up.
If it was, I missed it because I don't believe I have it in my library, but I haven't looked in a while, so maybe it's in there.
I don't think I see it.
I don't know either.
Somehow I thought I got it, but I don't know.
Yeah,
if it was Games with Gold, I would have picked it up. I pick up every Games with Gold, so
I generally do. I've missed very few.
I think Echo the Dolphin was, but I can't remember if this was. So, yeah, looking back at the stream that I'm just watching to make sure that it's running well. I gotta say, man, that was great looking, very sharp, and for whatever reason, I can't put my finger on it. And it might be a slightly lower bit rate that we're using that still gives us this great quality. But usually by now the frame counter on my system is, we're in the 20s. And when I do the retro rec, it's down into 23, 24 frames per second, which is fine because you're doing a retro game that really doesn't have, frame rate as a big deal. And excuse me, our podcast here pretty much tops out at 30 frames per second for stuff like this, but there's no taxing of the system right now that I usually get on YouTube, and that video is very smooth. So
yeah, look good.
Yeah, so that was Juan's retro recommendation, and again, if you want to see some previous ones, there are some retro rec recaps that are on the Twitch channel. That if you click the videos button after, of course, you've watched this, you can check those out, and there'll be another one going up tomorrow, which is Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. And HTK looks HD 4K enhanced.
Such a nice.
So, all right. I think we have covered everything, and unless there is some news or a quick topic that somebody would like to go over,
Yeah, two quick things.
Yeah.
One, I got back into PUBG in the last couple nights. I finished a game, my first finished game of 2018. What the hell was it? That's really obnoxious. Oh, it was the Ori DE, the definitive edition on Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh,
I want to
nice.
knock that out of the list. It's so gorgeous. It plays so well. And the DE actually adds all those little creature comfort UI, quality of life improvements, like better like warping through the stages for some of the backtracking and stuff like that. So it's totally worth it. New areas to play in as well, new map areas. But I wanted to do that because we're hopefully we're going to be getting Will of the Wisp this year, so I want to get that out of the backlist. So that's number one. Number two, with that done, I got back into some PlayerUnknowns. I played it some on launch, and then I kind of let it go to the wayside a little bit because of its roughness and everything. But the missus actually likes watching me play that game because I'm so bad at it. Like, and the kind of tension that everyone who plays it knows it has that special brand of paranoia that it generates, and she enjoys all that too. So I'm back into that. So you guys guys on the show here and everybody who plays it, I'm up for some multiplayer on that again because I'm back into it. I got down to my best ranking at 4th on a solo game just tonight. So closing on that chicken dinner. I'll probably never get one because I'm terrible. I'm like AIDS at the game, but 4th is pretty cool. I felt pretty good about that. And regular or NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, for the next Retro Rec.
Oh, right. I know what it is, and we're going to. I told you what I was going to do for the intro video for that.
Right.
So, all right. Ivan, you got anything else?
No, not really. That's good. Not much going on just yet.
And of course, we, once again, thank you for coming on. Love having you.
Invite me.
I don't agree with that.
I invited you. That's why you're here.
Exactly. Keep
That's
inviting me.
Why you're here. And
I'll remind him.
That's fine. Because when Frankie doesn't, respond at all, you could have his spot.
There you go.
Actually, there's another guy that wants to get in here too. Another friend of ours that I think we're gonna. Didn't you say Nathan? Didn't you say Rick wanted to come on?
Yes.
So we'll work on that too. And we were supposed to have PlayStation Bros tonight, but he hit me up at like 6 and had to cancel. Next week, folks, for those of you who are seeing us for the first time on Twitch, next week, Sunday night, we're going to have one of our new favorites. His name is Rick Lagnese. He is the community manager for Warhorse Studios. And for those of you who are going, why does Warhorse Studios sound familiar to me? It's because they're making Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is coming out the 14th of February, right on
Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Right.
13th.
13th, rather. So he's going to be on.
Buy 6 roses and put it around the box,
Yes.
and you're good to go.
So his goal apparently is to be on our show once a month. So this is happening. So he's coming on. He'll be on next week, and then he's going to be on the Sunday after launch, after we've all had a chance to get some time in on it, and he is going to be on Multiverse. Is that not right, Anchor?
That's right, on the 12th.
Yes.
He's making the rounds for sure.
Yes, he is.
It'll be great.
So
He's great. He's great at his job. He's really a cool guy.
Oh, yeah.
he's awesome.
And a good gamer.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to game with him, definitely do it. He's awesome.
Yeah, he really is.
Speaking of gaming with, this coming week, guys, who's going to be in the beta with me? That's Wednesday.
Oh, the Sea of Thieves beta.
Ooh, I'll be it. I'll do it.
I'm there. Oh,
So
I'm there.
I don't get out
I'll
of
do
work.
some of it to see what they changed, but I
it's
don't
gonna have
want
to
to
be
ruin
late.
it for me.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin it either.
Well, they said they're making a bespoke limited experience.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were
So-
not getting everything.
Yeah, I think I'm hopping with both feet because I believe I'm going to be all over that.
I mean, I have it pre-ordered, so
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so I'm home. I'll be around in the PM, like probably 9ish.
I'm still debating if I want the
Wednesday,
controller.
so- We'll put together. I had to cancel my pre-order on the controller. I had some other obligations come up, which makes me want to cry because it looks gorgeous. But that's okay. I still have the game on order, and I'm gonna be in there for the beta. So we'll put together Wednesday night. I just want to remind people that's coming, and I'm looking for people to be. I'm basically looking for people to patch up my hull after I run ships aground. Is what I'm looking for.
You just missed your shout out, certified.
Yeah, we did. You missed it. And he's late, and he's at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
They made it.
He's coming to steal me and HGK. That's what he's doing.
I wonder if Annihilator knew we came over here. He's our official Xbox Debbie Downer of the chat room, and we love him.
It's true.
So, and I know that I'm sure Whitty fell asleep because I haven't seen him chat for a while.
Oh, it's fair. It's the wee hours over there.
It is. As everyone knows, we love our international audience.
I have to learn everybody's name on here again.
That's true. That is the one thing about this that is a little different. Is we have to start calling Super Cooper Buvler. So anyway, Anchor, do us a favor. Give us the rundown on Tick real quick. Give us the scoop.
So Tick Network, Monday nights we do our show Multiverse. We're gonna be doing that. We actually picked up another show, so we do something a little later. I don't think it's this week, but I'm not even sure if it's actually this month where they're starting back up. But we're also gonna be working on. Let's see. On Saturday, we have Tick Podcast, which is the premier podcast for Xbox. We're the only podcast that's had pretty much everybody at Microsoft on there, so at least at some point. And then we also got on Sundays, we got the Iron Lords for all your drama-free confrontation and fun. You guys can check those guys out. It's an absolute blast.
And thank you to my lords. Lord Cognito, who honored us with his presence this evening in the chat room. Thank you, sir, and we will. So it is our mission to get together on one show or another and deliver the word of the Sega Dreamcast to everyone. So that's happening. Just don't know when. But great guys, and you know. Can't say enough about what you guys are doing over there, Ivan. It's great, and you guys do it the right way, and that's the great thing.
Yep.
So we appreciate you guys, being your friendship.
Restart the podcast.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, no. But we appreciate your friendship. We appreciate Tick's friendship, and I'm looking forward to helping you guys out a little bit.
All right.
So
good times.
Yeah.
Good time.
So everybody, thank you to everybody in the chat room. I have a request, and I don't know why it happened. I don't know what I did, but Tommy, dude, unblock me, dude. I don't know what I did to you, but unblock me, man.
You probably didn't mean to.
I don't know what happened, but I see his conversations with other people, and I'm like, who's he talking to? And I look, and it's. I was
gonna say, I don't. If he comes in here, he probably didn't mean to.
So, all right. Well, I'm please. So, all right. So anyway, Anchor, thanks for coming on with us, gentlemen. Our first Twitch podcast is in the bank. Look at this.
Yep.
See, he doesn't even remember.
He doesn't remember. It's probably nothing. It's all right. Please.
We all at one point have blocked Stinger. Don't worry about it.
True.
Yeah.
This is probably true.
It's a rite of passage.
This is true. This is how I got. This was my Twitter hazing. So, by the way,
that's how you play Minecraft on Twitter.
That's right. I meant to show you guys, and also in honor of Matt Booty taking over at Microsoft, and my Joust shirt.
Nice.
This was the back of it says Midway Games. There's a Dreamcast Midway Games collection. I was going to stream that on Saturday until my son came downstairs and tripped over the Elgato, which is why you only have 2 videos. So, if folks like those, by the way, the Dreamcast Saturday afternoon streams, I'd be happy to start them up again. So, anyway, thank you guys. Parting words, Peter?
It's HDK. He's in the game.
Nathan?
He surrenders.
Juan?
Sea of Thieves, Wednesday, 9 p.m.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm on it.
All right. So, thank you, everybody. We'll be back. I think we're gonna give this a run. I'm really happy with the stream quality, and we're gonna see if we can make a go at this over here on Twitch. And for those of you who are checking us out afterwards, don't forget that we are live Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll find us here. Please come on in and chat with us. As you can see from earlier, we don't. Our chat room is built for people to come in and enjoy gaming and talk to each other like human beings, and then we take the trash out very, very quickly. And we want to thank everybody in the chat room, from Tommy to Certified, who came in late, our friends from the WFC podcast, Super Cooper. We only didn't see Fastback. Did you guys see him in there? I did not.
I did not see Fastback.
I hope he got the memo.
You dropped
I didn't
the ball.
I didn't see him on Twitter respond to anything about it. I said about the movie either, so
Maybe he's
probably just missed
busy.
out on it, or something.
Yeah.
Could be family or real life. Hope everything's good.
It could be. Or isn't he? He was probably watching the game too.
That could be too.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
Lord
the game's over there.
Lord Cognito, Project Jeff, who has been he has been slacking, hasn't he? You know, Project Jeff, who's been with us, and he found us he was watching on the Xbox One Twitch app, and you know, I know I'm missing people, but you guys know we love you, and the reason we put this chat up here is so you guys can be part of this show. Juan, thank you again for a wonderful retro recommendation, and guys, we are out.
Game on.
See you next week.
Game on wherever you may roam.
Have a great week, everybody, and play on, gamers.
Oh!